Hello. Hello, everyone. This is Hannah, the founder of Mentorship Revolution. Happy Super Soul Sunday. As I said, I didn't go to church today, but the world didn't end still. But I just hope that you enjoyed your Sunday and that God blessed you and that you spent your time doing what you love to do, that you spent your time resting, that you spent your time being nourished, nurtured, that you spent your time being reminiscent of, why you're happy to still be alive. Because that's very important to know that through all the struggles, through all the uncertainties, through all of the things that we lose in life as we get older, the things that we actually gain. Because for everything you lose, you can look forward to gaining. That's the blessing of being alive, is never being left empty and knowing that God will not desert you, but God will take you through change. He will take you through phases. He will take you through the unpredictable. So today I created another wonderful Super Soul Sunday powerful message, and I published it to the website. So I hope that you have had the time to go check that out and to be blessed by it and to just see it, because it really is a powerful message that I shared today. And it just came to my mind. I was, actually getting my hair done at the time, and it came to my mind that we deal with guilt. That word guilt. We deal with guilt. And why do we deal with guilt in life? We deal with guilt because we deal with knowing that we are imperfect. We deal with knowing that we want to please others, especially those we love. But at the same time, we have to be true to ourselves, and we have to also listen to and follow our hearts. And that's when it becomes a challenge to please others, when you are being intuitive and when you are actually, listening to those soft nudges of what is best for you. Because no one can know what's best for you as much as you can know what's best for you. The only person that could ever know what's best for you more than you do is God. And, of course you have to come to a certain mature stage in life to know that. Because, a lot of times when we're little, of course our parents know what's best for us. But I think on a very deep spiritual level, when we have a sense of self-awareness and when we have healthy self-esteem, I think that we begin to realize what works for us, what makes us happy, what makes us find joy, what makes us smile on the inside and the outside. So we shouldn't feel guilty when we do what others say we shouldn't do, or when we decide to take a leap of faith and others wouldn't take a leap of faith, or when we decide to move out on faith and others would rather stand still. We shouldn't feel guilty because we're moving and climbing up ladders while others are remaining in the same place. Because at the end of the day, that person may have already lived their life. That person may be doing what makes them happy. That person may be content. So always do what makes you content and, do what seeks for your best. But also know that when you're at your best, it's not only for you, but it's for the benefit of the world. It's for the benefit of your environment. So we should never feel guilty because of growth. We should never feel guilty because of change. We should never feel guilty because of we have to say goodbye. Sometimes some doors have to be shut in order for us to go open other doors, or those doors to be open unto us. So life is all about you being able to accept yourself for who you are today, for you being able to see the beauty in who you are today, not the person of 10 years ago, but the person of in the moment, not the person of 5 years ago, but the person of today, and not even a year ago, because life changes that much that we have to continue to redefine ourselves, and we have to continue to find contentment in who we are, because we should know that we are deserving, we are loving, and we should desire to be stable-minded individuals. So I just pray that you would go read that message. I talked about guilt and why we should have no room for guilt. There's the only reason, I did say the only reason why we should ever feel guilty is because of the sins under God's authority. For those who are believers, for those who believe in God, we know that God is perfect. God is blemish, God is blemish free. God is the creator. God is the Alpha and the Omega. So, God is just that perfect, and God is just that much of a, God is just that undefinable. That's really how God is. And the only reason we should ever feel guilt is when we know that we do not meet the standards of a perfect God. We can never be like God. We can never be like Jesus. So that's the only reason we should ever feel guilt, is when we see how sin from the first mother and father caused us to become the creation. It caused the creation to become what it is today. It caused so much. It caused death, number one. So that's the number one obvious reason why we're imperfect, because our sins cause death. The things that we do at the end lead to our downfall. But at the end of the day, God has restored us, and God has allowed us to live blessed lives where we can be in relationships, we can be in healthy relationships, we can decide. So in a way, free will was a blessing and a curse. So I just pray that you have a great Sunday. This is Hannah coming to you. I am getting back on my radio content because I love the MR podcast. I thank God for the vision. In December, it will actually be a year since I started the MR podcast. And God allowed me to start the MR podcast when I was a first-year college student away from home for the very first time. I was never a very around-the-way person. I was very much kind of like a homebody, very much in the church, very much sticking close to those who were there from the beginning of my life. So for God to help me get to where I am now, far away from home, still in the same state, but definitely a while away, for God to allow me to be where I am now, in the place that I am now, and still seeing the wonderful things He's doing in my life, how God is still leading and guiding me, even when I feel that I'm being pushed to the most. God still shows me that there is no stopping, there is no ending until He said it is all complete. So that's a little of my testimony, but I would love to hear from you all too about how do you feel about guilt, and how have you dealt with guilt? I'm pretty young, so there may be some other wisdom tidbits that older people have about how they've dealt with guilt in their life on a much bigger, more wider level. So I am going to be coming back. As I said, I'm going to do my next podcast, hopefully on meaningful mentors. That is very important for us to talk about why mentors are meaningful. And, everything that we do should be meaningful. Nothing should be not meaningful. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. So when I come back with my next episode on this MR podcast, I want to talk about meaningful mentors. And I hope that you tune in and, take part of that episode and just enjoy the radio and just enjoy the conversation, the discussion, and bring your ideas to the table as well. This is Hannah Lassiter, and I'm checking out. Happy Super Soul Sunday.